The scene opens with an establishing shot of a small gas station in the middle of nowhere. A familiar car is getting gas, one that the audience knows to be stolen after the owner was murdered by a man dressed in black. This man in black is known as Anton Chigurh, although his name has not been made known to the audience as of now. All we know is that the few scenes that we have seen of him involved the strangulation of a police officer and the execution of a stranger using a captive bolt or cattle gun. We, the audience, knows that he's a dangerous man and is ready to kill at a moment's notice.
How much?
69 cents.
We then cut to look inside the gas station store. On one end is the cashier and the owner of the place, and on the other is Anton. Neither are paying attention to each other, with their gazes focused on other things.
And the gas.
Y'all getting any rain up your way?
What way would that be?
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
The second the cashier asks this question, the mood shifts dramatically. Anton is now focused and alert, maintaining strong eye contact with the cashier. This question has ticked Anton off. He did murder 2 individuals in the previous scenes. The cashier knowing where Anton has been is an indication to Anton that the cashier may know more about his evil acts.
I didn't mean nothing by it.
Didn't mean nothing.
I was just passing the time. If you don't want to accept that, I don't know what else I can do for you.
The cashier's attention is not directed at Anton, his face seeming worried and concerned. This is an over-the-shoulder shot, giving us an intimate view of these 2 characters' conversation. We can see a lot of how each character acts and responds to each other from this angle. Focusing back on the cashier, the window behind him shines a bright yellow glow outside, giving him a warm and innocent aura around him. The lighting on the cashier also paints over any semblance of shadows or darkness on the cashier's face. The impression the audience gets is that this is the most kind-hearted old man who has just come face to face with the most dangerous man in this film.
Will there be something else?
I don't know. Will there?
We have a continuous back and forth between the 2 characters as the cashier tries to defuse the situation while Anton continues to confront the cashier. Anton also continues to maintain strong eye contact with the cashier, with his gaze comparable to a death stare. The cashier, on the other hand, moves his gaze down repeatedly, showing a sign of submission.
Is something wrong
With what?
with anything?
Is that what you're asking me?
Anton gives a slight grin, as if amused by the question. It's here where the dangerous man in black decides to toy with the cashier, no longer seeing him as a threat, but just a clueless and a helpless old man.
Is there something wrong with anything?
Will there be anything else?
You already asked me that.
Well, I need to see about closing now.
See about closing.
Yes, sir.
What time do you close?
Now, we close now.
Now is not a time. What time do you close?
Generally around dark, at dark.
I'm sure you can see the problem there of that statement, and Anton picks up on it as well. We are given a close-up shot of Anton as he sighs at how clueless this man is, followed up by a close-up shot of the cashier and his confused and worried expression, if it weren't clear enough already.
I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed?
Sir?
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed?
Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30.
I could come back then.
Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed.
Yeah, you said that.
Anton then asks a threatening question about when the man sleeps, to which the man answers honestly. We, the audience, right about now, will be jumping and screaming for the man to just shut up and stop revealing so much information to this killer, thinking that Anton is going to come back and kill this old man.
Well, I got to close now.
You live in that house out back.
Yes, I do.
You lived here all your life?
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it.
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it.
That's the way you want to put it.
The camera comes closer to the cashier as he continues to try and defuse the situation by cracking a joking remark and giving a heartwarming and charismatic smile. Anton is clearly not moved by this, and his cold, menacing stare continues being held directly at the old man.
I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is.
The shot of the crushed peanut bag gives the sense of dread and impending doom. The way the bag crinkles is something I compare to a man struggling to keep themselves alive. If you have been paying attention, Anton was continuously eating peanuts from the bag. If we were to take it as the bag being a representation of the cashier, then it can be interpreted as Anton constantly eating away at the cashier until there is nothing left of him, which he will then crush with his hands, leaving both the bag and the cashier gasping for life. It is a subtle threat, but one that the cashier notices.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
A coin toss is now deciding the fate of this cashier. As we, the audience, with prior knowledge of how violent Anton can be, as well as his implications of asking the cashier how much he had lost to a coin toss, tells us that this is life or death. This is further emphasized as the coin lands right next to the crumpled bag of peanuts.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No?
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
Accompanying the shots is a quiet ambiance. This is the only time across the entire scene where music is used. This is to further the tension of this coin toss. It grows in intensity as we get closer to the reveal of the cashier's fate. This is also the one moment where Anton diverts his gaze from the cashier. His focus is taken away from the cashier and instead directed at the fate of the coin toss, life or death. As the conversation continues between them, the camera slowly pans closer to each character. The situation is getting more intense by the second, and the audience is being pulled closer to that intensity and is going to be a part of whatever's going to happen next.
All right. Heads then.
Well done.
With only 2 words, the audience is free from the tension and clutches of the scene. Well done. The music stops, and the cashier gives a sigh of relief as if he has been holding in his breath just like the audience.
Don't put it in your pocket.
Sir?
Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Where you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin.
Anton continues to play with the cashier as he remarks about mixing the quarter with others in the cashier's pocket. He leaves after giving an off-putting but friendlier look. He is still a dangerous man and murderous psychopath, but here, fate has allowed Anton to show the mercy he rarely gives. The cashier stands none the wiser to how lucky he is to encounter the most dangerous man in Texas and make it out alive through the toss of a coin.